Hey Capricorns, how y'all doing? Welcome. We are going to be taking a look at your April to May spring equinox through Beltane. So, in your meditation, just jumping right on in there. I know you'll appreciate that, right? Getting right to it. Um, it was short but sweet. I saw the image of a fox, and I felt that they were pretty impatient, so like a quite impatient fox. And I saw them, trying to kind of get through this pane of glass, and they couldn't, and they were trying to bang their little head against it, and they couldn't get through. So every time that they pushed against the glass, it made pieces of it break off, right? And then I saw the pieces of broken glass form a mirror on the other side, at which point the fox turned and looked in the mirror that was created by these broken pieces of glass and look at itself and then, not be able to turn away from what it was seeing. So it was like its impatience was acting as a reflective surface, interestingly enough. And then I saw an image of it deciding to go to sleep to pass the time. And then when it woke up, like the glass was gone and it was free to go. So I do feel like there's something around timing, wanting something to move forward or feeling a little bit of impatience around something. I will say that, this season we are in solar eclipse time. We're in Mercury in retrograde. This is the time of the slowdown and backing it up and reversing it. We're also going to be invited as a collective this season to take a look at ourselves, just like the fox in the mirror, and look at the aspects of ourselves that are just outside of our direct view, right? So the aspects of ourselves that reside in our subconscious, or parts that are just quite uncomfortable that we don't love taking out and looking at on a regular basis, right? It's the shadow side. And as a collective, we're going to be looking at that, especially as it relates to our belief systems. What do we believe? What do we stand for? Why do we believe it? Our past, our relationship to our past, our relationship to our choices. But this time is really about holding up that magnifying glass internally. And it's really up to you how and in what way that manifests for you. But that is, we'll say, the opportunity of the season. But I feel like you guys are going to be able to work with this in a way that is quite unique to you. I will say, sometimes in a reading, it feels like that reading is quite similar to another sign. And I will say in yours, you have a lot of the same cards as Aquarius, which is your sister sign, right? They're right next door to you. I would definitely watch the Aquarius reading because it feels like those two signs, you and Aquarius, are going to go through some similar themes. You have several, you three at least, three or so of the same cards, a lot of the same energy. So definitely take a look at the Aquarius reading. So you're coming through as the dolphin here, right? The dolphin is so beautiful. It's Ace of Cups energy. It's a bit of a hybrid though. It's Ace of Cups / Six of Cups, which Ace of Cups is about great intuition, self-love, enjoyment of life, nourishment, psychic hits. And then the Six of Cups is very much about our relationship to our past and our inner child, right? Remembering things in a better or worse light than how they actually happened, examining, our choices and our relationship to how we remember things and taking away, what works for us and not being bogged down by, the pain of the past, as it were. The dolphin energy is just so magical because it really teaches us that when we come from a place of play, that we are able to, confront any challenges that come our way from a place of, because they're quite intelligent, right? From a place of ingenuity and a place of, energy, which just means that you're going to be able to cover whatever comes your way. So it's really beautiful. It's also linking me back to the fox energy because foxes are all about adaptability. They're all about knowing your resources and not being afraid to use them, right? They're known for being clever. They love a side door moment. They're not about the front door. They're not about the back door. They are all about, I'm going to take the side door, right? And beat everyone else to the lobby because they're the ones that don't have to wait online. So I do feel like that image of you looking at yourself in the mirror from the broken pieces of you, oh, so dramatic. Is your meditation, not mine. Uh, looking at the broken piece of you, there's an aspect to this where I think you might be able to create something quite beautiful out of it, especially to anyone who's in a line of work, an artist or a writer or perform, anyone who's even someone who tells their story or will have an opportunity to use their story to their advantage. There's a lot of genius in you being able to take what has happened with you, around you, in your history, in your family's history, and turn it into gold somehow. There's something in that. There's a lot of gold in your own story or within you. Something about your unique approach to something that's just waiting for you to mine it and then, really go on that archaeological dig that is Capricorn, because there's a lot of gold in your own story. There's a lot of gold in your past. And I feel like out of all the signs, you're going to be able to go through this season and take what comes up and use it to your own benefit in a very constructive and work forward way. And I love it for you because it feels like home base. You know what I mean? Now, you are coming through as 8 of Cups. So is Aquarius. So another dolphin energy here. You got double dolphin, just like Aquarius did. So 8 of Cups is being willing to move on, being willing to embrace changes, even if it means that you're having to close certain doors or alter certain dynamics. You're being willing to walk away from emotional factors within and or around you that don't feel so good, right? That don't allow you to embrace a place of flow. So the fact that this shows you sort of walking off here, like towards the cliffs here with the dolphin here as your support, I'm really hearing to trust your intuition as to what has reached its expiration date in your life, because the more that you're able to do that and remove it and honor that feeling within you, all you're going to do by doing that is making room for the new. I see an image of a refrigerator where instead of cleaning it out when you get new groceries, you're stacking the new groceries on top of the old groceries, and so both of them are rotting. And I'm really hearing this is a really good time for you to follow your intuition and clear out what wants to be cleared. There's no judgment in it. There's no harm in it. It's really just about understanding that everything has a time and a season. Even dynamics in relationships, right? It's not necessarily about throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but it's about allowing for decay to happen and honoring it so that new growth can emerge. Sometimes a relationship wants to transform so that new growth can happen. Sometimes your relationship to what you do wants to transform so that new growth can happen. Can I tell you what animal is really, really good at that as well in terms of animal energy? Foxes. Foxes. They don't hang on. They are really, really good, like animal energy wise, at releasing anything that they can't immediately assign a purpose to or a purpose for, right? So it's interesting that you've got that animal, which is the anti-hoarder, in a time where as a collective we're going to be asked to go through our storage units of emotions and beliefs we've been hoarding and clear it out. So I feel like fox energy is so strong with you during this time. It's such a beautiful animal energy to have with you. I would say even go a step further. Take an image of foxes, put on the background of your phone, print one out, look into their energy, read up about them, invite them to come and help you, through synchronicity in your life, because I'm really feeling that so very, very strongly for you. It's very, very persistent. So in your place of challenge, fascinating. You've got the Page of Pentacles, loving the cherry blossoms here for spring, with the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. Interesting. So Page of Pentacles is that beginner's energy, and it's about sowing new seeds that will grow into something that has, financial long-term potential. Interesting, no? This is becoming a student. This is starting a new project. This is being willing to intern. It's something you really have always wanted to do, but you chose another career path, but you're willing to intern just to get the experience. And then Nine of Cups, which is your wish fulfillment. Why do I feel like there's a group of you that are being called to recalibrate what you really want, or reconsider the form that what you want, reconsider the form that it may or may not take? Do you have a fixed idea about how something in your experience will go to your own detriment, to the point where you're blocking out potentials because they don't fit inside your idea of what it should look like, what time it should happen in, or how it should go? Interesting. The ones who survive are the most adaptable. Remember that. Your advice is the High Priestess, which is stunning and perfect and brilliant. Oh, this is also Aquarius energy. So really feeling like looking at that energy for you. High Priestess, this is all about being connected to your intuition, but it's also, right, this is her season we're going into because this is all about taking what is unseen or hidden and bringing it into the light so that you have full emotional autonomy and overall autonomy over your given circumstances and your options. If there are things that you're unwilling or unable to look at, they, well, as Carl Jung said, they will have control over you, and you'll call it fate, right? But if you are in full awareness, if you are willing to look at the dark corners of your mind, of your emotions, of your past, then there's nothing you can't do, right? I'm seeing something really funny. I don't know if it'll be funny to you, but it's coming. So there's a movie called 8 Mile with Eminem. I've seen it a million times. It's just one of those movies that I just love it. And there's a scene in which he's at the rap battle and he goes first and he uses all of the jokes that his opponent would have used. I hope I'm not ruining the movie for anyone. It's been out a while. Uses all the jokes on himself that his opponent was going to use on him so that he disarms his opponent by having such a level of self-awareness and be willing to take the piss out of himself so that his opponent can't do it. There's something about that is very powerful for you as it relates to your intuition and being willing to look at yourself and not just like have some humor about what you see, but use it to your advantage. For example, that fox looking in the mirror. If you struggle with, let's say that you struggle with being really hard on yourself, thinking you should be somewhere else by now, because it feels like it's about timing in a way. If you feel like, you should be further along by now or in a different position, or you thought something would have happened by now, or you should be making more, you should be living somewhere else, or whatever it is for you, you can engage with that from a place of humor and disempower it by doing so, right? So for example, let's say you have thoughts along the lines of, I should be more successful by now, right? You can take that and go and just say it out loud to yourself. Like, I should be more successful by now. I am failing terribly at life. I am a failure. I am awful. I'm a loser, 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 loser. And follow that. And I know it sounds a little bit like counterintuitive, but you're bringing it out into the light because it only has power over you. Beliefs like that only have power over you if they're allowed to grow in the darkness, if you don't want to take them out and look at it. So have a clown moment, bring it out into the light. And the more that you do that, you will see that it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where you're laughing at it. You can even make a song out of it. I'm a loser. I should be a lot more successful by now. Your version will be better, but sing it. Put it out there. It's like an exercise of a sort to really expel that stuff from you. And in doing so, you'll be able to laugh at it. You'll be able to work with it because you're exposing it to the light of day, unless it won't be able to survive in the same way. You'll see that it's actually quite small. It's kind of like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, where she pulls back the curtain and sees that the wizard is not really much of a wizard at all. But if she'd never pulled back the curtain, if she had never really been willing to go there, it never would have continued to have power over her, right? As something outside of herself. Pull back the curtain on the parts of you that have, limiting self-beliefs or have, negative self-talk or, aren't grounded in your own knowing and commitment to your own unique path, right? We're all on a unique path. Comparison really is the thief of joy. So in your place of victories, we have Knight of Swords, which I'm here for it. I love it. This rules the realm of the mind. This is about great clarity, truth. It's about communication that may be blunt in nature, but that has a majorly healing effect because the truth really will set you free. So the fact that this is coming in your place of victories, you're going to be graduating from this time period with a clear mind and a renewed sense of purpose, which is brilliant. You also see these eagles, which is Scorpio energy on this horse too, on its little what would you call that? Little scarf? I don't know. Here as well, which is that Wheel of Fortune energy, but it's also about clarity and discernment and objectivity. So I feel like that the more that you're able to really use your words and really communicate things out loud and with and for yourself, as opposed to keeping them within you and letting them fester, again, expose that stuff to the air, expose it to the light, and it will no longer have any power over you. You'll also be able to work with it from that vantage point as well. Now, your outcome, which is the best thing ever, is the star. Beautiful Aquarius energy here. So I love that you have wish fulfillment twice. The minor arcana, which is about choices and you can change it if you don't like it, is in the challenge position. And the major arcana, which speaks of destined and fated events, is in the outcome position, meaning your true wish fulfillment, what you want, what you really, really want. After you open the oyster and reveal the true pearl of what it is that you truly want at the heart of it, without an attachment to timing or circumstance, is your outcome for this time period. It is your lighthouse in the darkness, and you're able to retrieve a pearl that is yours. I'm kind of seeing an image of the sword and the stone, where like only the person that was, that matched the sword could pull it. Only King Arthur could pull it. And this pearl is the equivalent of your sword and the stone. But let's talk about pearls. Did you know that the pearl is formed as a defense mechanism to the grains that try to get inside of it? And so it's like a foreign body, little grains of sand trying to get in here. So the pearl is formed as a way to defend and protect itself. Interesting, no? I feel like that's just it's a really good way to look at this time for you. You know what I mean? It's a really good way. Let those grains of sand, let those things that feel foreign or uncomfortable to you or cause you to itch a little bit, right? Create for you your own personal pearl and sense of what really matters to you, what's really important. Because if you're connected to what you truly want, but don't have an attachment to how or in what form it comes, then that is your soul purpose having its full expression, and you will manifest it because you're going to be open to whatever form or route it takes, even if it's being willing to intern, for example, or go back to basics or do something a bit differently, right? Your oracle is brilliant. Your oracle is the diamond dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. I do feel like this is a really positive oracle. There's really not a negative spin on this, which I love for you. But, it's like this Egyptian feel down here. I really feel like I'm looking at your past. And I do feel like there's this really strong sense here of your personal, again, wish fulfillment. But what is your personal gold? What is your personal, treasure chest? What does that look like for you? I feel like you're going to be thinking a lot about that. And I would not be surprised with this dolphin energy if you start thinking about how things were when you were younger, what you really wanted then versus what you want now. Are there ways in which you've compromised it? Or are there ways in which where if you told your 7-year-old self what you were doing right now, they would be so proud of you and so amazed? Sometimes it can help to go in conference with your 7 or 6 or 5-year-old or 12-year-old self, whatever it is, and really do a meditation where you're speaking to them. Saying like, hey, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing this and this and this. And to you as your adult self, it may not, look like how you thought it would look. You may have, some gripes about it. Maybe it's, wish it could be better. But, the younger you is just like, whoa. And it's really amazing to put things in perspective that way. And I feel like with the Dolphin, Ace of Cups, Six of Cups hybrid, it's a really beautiful opportunity to do that because the name of the game for this season in particular is perspective. And sometimes, as cheesy and trite as it may sound, sometimes we already have what we truly want. It just takes, a flip of a perspective to truly see it and recognize it. So something to that for your upcoming eclipse, Mercury retrograde, spring season, or autumn if you're in the southern hemisphere. My beautiful Capricorns, I so hope that this helps and resonates. I'm wishing you a very happy and joyful and abundant and reflective and fox-filled April into May. I'll be back with you soon. We're going to take a more close look at Beltane, which is one of my absolute favorite times of year. Also, I appreciate you so much going along with me on my journey. I'm working on, being with you guys in a more regular and steady way. I'm traveling at the moment. I'm in a hotel at an undisclosed location in the States, waiting for a visa approval to get back home to the UK. So as I'm in a transition point of my own, I really, really appreciate your support and patience with me. I just love and appreciate you guys so, so much. It makes me so happy every time I'm able to be back here with you guys. And with that being said, if you feel so called, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please let me know how you're doing. How does this land? How do we feel about foxes and dolphins? What do you think of the Aquarius reading? Let me know what's going on. I love hearing from you. I really, really do. And with that being said, again, just thank you so, so much. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. and be well. Until next time.